A lot of fans have really been concerned about how dangerous teams looks against us on the counter-attack. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at some suggestion that somebody made in the 3-1-3-3 formation with a single pivot and actually 3 attacking midfielders. But before we do get into all of that, please do subscribe to the channel, as that will be helping us a lot to get this family to grow even bigger. We've grown immensely. Thank you very much, each and everyone. We do a lot of Barcelona content. We only do tactical analysis. We upload 3 times a week. And we do on each and every game of Barca a tactical analysis. So let's get right into the video to see the advantages and disadvantages of this shape. I would imagine in the build-up phase, when FC Barcelona wants to press high, you would have the likes of Robert Lewandowski and Yamal, for this instance, as an example, go up extremely high, right? You're committing a lot less players now, so I would imagine that Xavi probably wants to cut some passing lanes in between the guys that would receive the ball, right? You will then, of course, have the likes of Xavi and Gundogan coming extremely high in order to press high, because I think Xavi would want to press high still, right? And that's possible with the 5-man defense, But I think easily, if the pivot is going to become a problem for Barca in this instance, we could easily have Balde or coming inside with Xavi going onto the pivot, or the other way around, depending on who plays, of course. And then Barca can easily just shift over to their back four that they normally have, right? But the key here is to have 3 defenders. And I've really seen that you guys are very concerned about Barcelona conceding the goals, right? But yeah, we can also use Robert Lewandowski, when the ball actually comes down to one side. Robert Lewandowski can actually press to keep the opposition on one side, and as they move around, everybody could just come over, and trap them on one side. So that is what you can do in the high press in the shape. When you're defending in this low block, I think having 5 defenders is going to work really well against the bigger teams, like your Man Cities, your Bayerns, right? Then it wouldn't be possible for the teams to actually stretch Barcelona. But I would want Robert Lewandowski to actually sit on their low midfield, on the deep-lying player. And then also these guys extremely narrow, so that they can block all the passing lanes towards these guys that you maybe have in between the lines, because Barcelona is going to have to defend a little bit deeper when they play the likes of City and Bayern Munich. But against the smaller teams, that likes counter-attacking, it's not necessary. You can actually defend with Cancelo in midfield. But against the bigger teams, this is going to work really, really well, And the same when you're defending your box, right? It's easy to just shift into this back line. And like I said, it's going to be difficult for the bigger teams to stretch Barca, right? But I would imagine Xavi don't think this way. I doubt that he will defend with 5 defenders, So this is just suggestion. This is just discussion, I think a lot of you guys, there are some negative comments that don't like this. But yeah, this is just the discussion that we have and what we think, right? This shape honestly holds a lot of advantages for Barcelona in the build-up phase, right? For example, you have 3 centre-backs and one of them can be deployed as a pivot while in the build-up phase. So for example, if Barcelona looked to build up, right, then you have like Jules Koundé, who could easily form a pivot with Gundogan, right? Because when the team press high, you now still have the pivot to cover, and you have still the likes of Joao Felix. You have them high. You have Xavi high that can easily receive the ball in the area right over here. So a whole lot of advantages this shape has for you in the build-up phase, right? If teams look to press Ter Stegen, that's going to be suicide, because that leaves Christensen and Araujo, it leaves them open, right? If they look to press in the front too, that's not ideal for them either, because yes, they do maybe have the fullbacks covered, but then you have to have one guy and then Barcelona can easily go there. You actually have a numerical advantage also with this if you have the 3 centre-backs, right? And now you have like Manchester City. This is what City actually does, right? Imagine if we had Eric Garcia in this instance, how great this guy would be. However, I don't think this is such a great problem, because Barcelona most of the time do find their way out of the back. But I think the biggest thing we have is when we are in the final third. Because I think this has been the biggest concern that we as fans have. Even though I still think that the 3-2-3-5 in possession would be a great thing, But you guys, of course, said that you would like to see Barcelona with three defenders, right? So this is actually what you guys suggested. You want to have a single pivot with three attacking midfielders. But like I said, I don't really think Xavi would do this, but also you can easily have Cancelo become a pivot, right? And so at the same time, we have both our fullbacks who are in their great positions. We have a back three, but the only downside to this, however, would of course be the fact that we only have one midfielder. Let's say Oriol Romeo comes back, Frankie comes back. So now you only have the spaces for two midfielders because Felix is now there. That means Xavi might have to go back to picking another midfielder on the left side. So there's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration before we can see things, right? Because remember, if we change our shape, if we add another defender, that's going to alter our fluidity, because yeah, you can still have people in their positions. We know Felix is good here. We know Balde is good everywhere. So everybody's going to be great in their positions, right? Because Barcelona has played last season with a back three. But then again, what if remember, there's still Frankie needs to come back. There's Oriol Romeo and there's Pedri, right? So it's really, really, really complex and a really difficult situation that Barcelona finds them in. We cannot be defensively sound and score a lot of goals. We cannot score a lot of goals and be defensively sound. It's not going to work both ways. It's very difficult to find a balance, right? And I think Xavi would prefer us to score a lot of goals. Maybe we can start out with a back three. Then one defender comes off. Then we add another midfielder. Or Frankie de Jong would have to start in that pivot position every game. Because now with a back five, you can't start both Frankie and Oriol Romeo now, because there's already less space in the midfield. However, I find it extremely difficult to see how Xavi is going to play with a single pivot. I actually don't believe he's going to do that. I still think that the 2-3-5 formation is the best formation. We should go for it. But it's really nice to hear from you guys and see your suggestions that you have. But I would rather prefer to have an auxiliary centre-back or have one of the pivots drop in between to create a back three, because I think Barcelona are way more fluid when we play the 2-3-5 formation. Let me know what you guys think down below. It's already great. It's really great for me to see that you guys are engaging in the videos. It's very nice. So keep letting the comments come through. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.